Hi everyone! Okay, last Facebook Live. I can't believe I made it to 30 days and it's been an incredible journey. I've learned a lot and I was just reflecting on what I've learned actually, and that's actually what I want to talk about today. Um, just, I guess, like, when you commit, I mean, like, I was just talking to Pete just then and he was saying to me, 30 days ago, you were so afraid of being in front of the camera. You hated how you sounded. You hate how you look on camera. And 30 days after, you've done 30 Facebook Lives. And, you forget to sort of be grateful and to look at all these wins. Like, this wasn't easy for me, but I did it. And, I think the first thing that I've learnt, the first thing that I really reflected on was that actually, when you feel the fear of something and you just do it anyway, you get over that fear really quickly. And I've recognized what those fears are. It's the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being judged, the fear of, I don't know, saying something wrong on on camera and not being able to take it back because it's on camera. And yeah, and I guess, like, the fear of, you know not being liked, and the fear of not knowing whether you have, I guess, valuable content to share with people. I've learnt so much about fear. I've learnt so much about how to get over fear, and I think the biggest thing to get over fear is, I mean, like, just do it. Just whatever you want to do, just do it. Because that's how you get over fear. And yeah, I mean, the second thing I realized was that by doing these Facebook Lives, I really got to get to know myself. I really got to recognize and be grateful that actually, I don't have to be perfect, and every Facebook Live doesn't have to be perfect. But what was important to me, when I went through my Facebook Lives, was that I was authentic and I was vulnerable. And in Brene Brown, she says that vulnerability is a strength, and it's courage that you show vulnerability. And a lot of the times, because of vulnerability, you are able to connect and you are able to build true, authentic relationships where you feel like you belong to. And I felt like I was doing that, in the last 30 days that I was doing my Facebook Lives. What else? Like, creativity. I mean, like, sometimes people say that creativity, you need to plan for it and things like that. But what I realized about creativity for me, and I guess in general, is that it doesn't come when you're planning. It doesn't come when you have to try and be perfect. And actually, when I decided to do these 30 Facebook Lives, I remember in the morning waking up and going, yep, I'm going to do it. And I wrote, I wrote 30 things that I wanted to talk about. And I went back to those 30 things, and I think I only spoke about 5 of them. Because what happens every day is that you get inspired to talk about something, and you realize that actually, let's leave that topic that you wrote about for another day because you're inspired to say something or you're inspired to do something. And yeah, so, all those, I guess creativity is life, is actually living your life without, much plans, and recognizing that it's okay to plan, but not all plans go to plan. What else? Yeah, I mean, the fourth one is, get over the need to be perfect. I mean, with a Facebook Live, if you think about it, you are literally live. People are watching you and you can't restart it. You can't stop the video. You just have to keep going. And that was something so scary from the beginning. But I recognize that it's so important. It's actually really nice to do these Facebook Lives because you recognize that actually you're not going to be perfect in these Facebook Lives, but you're going to do it anyway. And it's nice to know that, you know, through my imperfections, I've managed to get content that I want to get out. So yeah, and the last one is that insight into capabilities and capacities and knowledge of content. So, you know, I've always told Pete, I've always said to him, oh, you know, I don't think I want to do this, and I think I'm only just going to blog once a month, because I didn't believe in myself that I was capable, and I didn't believe in myself that I had all this knowledge inside my head. But, you know, when I was inspired to talk every day, I realized that actually I've got so much content that's inside of me that I can share, and it doesn't take long to share them, you know, and I've got my own insights, my own perspectives, and, you know, through teaching, through understanding child psychology and child development, through understanding personal development, through, you know, the learnings of Buddhism. There is so much learning that I have accumulated through all these, avenues that I can actually share with people, and not only help them, but help their children as well. So, and yeah, actually, when I'm forced to do these Facebook Lives, and forced to do 30 of them, you don't realize how much you can get out. And because you're forced to do them, you sort of go, okay, well, tomorrow, you know, what's tomorrow's topic going to be like? And then you sort of just think about it on the top of your head, or just before you do your Facebook Live. Hi, Susie, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the message. What was I going to say? Yeah, just, you know, you don't recognize that you're actually capable of doing so much more when you're actually put on the spot and when you commit yourself to it. So those are like the 5 huge learnings I got out of doing these 30 Facebook Lives. So what's next for me? I was thinking about, actually, you know, it's funny because I have my what is it called, university transcripts and things like that here, and what I found the other day was my personal statement. And my personal statement was an essay that I did before I became a teacher, and I had to write an essay to tell the university why I would succeed in the degree. And actually it was a new degree that they were doing and that they were trialing, and you know, it was supposed to be one of those really hard ones, because I think it was like 4 days of going into schools and doing practical learning of how to be a teacher, and then you've got 1 day of university where you're trying to cram all this knowledge in, and then you've got like 8 assignments and 8 essays to do in one term, and actually it was so hardcore, because your mentor teacher at school would be expecting you to be teaching, assessing, marking, so really becoming a teacher. And then your university lectures will be expecting you to know all this stuff that they've just crammed into, you know, 2-hour session at university, for one subject, and then to do an assignment on it and to research about it in your own time. And so it was, you know, it was big. And I think, you know, and I was one out of 15 people who got into this residency course. And I'd love to share why I became a teacher, because it's so important for people to understand why I'm actually doing what I'm doing, and why I want to start a business, you know, revolving around education and educating children. So this was my basically admissions essay, really. So spiritual growth is spontaneous. The big and small events come along unexpectedly. A single word can open your heart. A single glance can tell you who you really are. And that was from one of the books that I read from Deepak Chopra in 2004. This is how I was led to the path of teaching. So there was a sudden death amongst my circle of friends, and it made me realize how impermanent and fragile life really is. This is when I started to reevaluate my life. What I found was that I haven't lived life as meaningful as I should. Making profit for someone else is just not enough. So Gandhi once said that be the change you want to see in the world, and I believe this is my definition of meaningful. If I can use my abilities to touch lives and give love to those who need it every day, this would be living every moment meaningfully. Not long after this, I was asked to volunteer at my Buddhist society to teach children Chinese. We were briefed on the text and also a little bit about children's behaviours. After the brief, I had a spur of excitement, confidence, and inspiration to want to teach. At that moment, I knew I wanted this opportunity to change lives and teach children principles which will help create a more peaceful society for our future generations. I strongly believe in the views of Confucius. Moral principles, virtues, and discipline should be the first lessons a child learns. Without these, how can a child learn anything else when they do not listen to their parents or their teachers, or when they have unsettled feelings themselves? So I hope to reintroduce the elements of Confucius that Confucius has taught to my students so that they not only become leaders, but leaders who can truly benefit our future. I believe all children are born pure. It is the role models that dictate their future and actions. This is why I want to teach children, particularly early childhood education. They have the ability to learn quickly from those they spend the most time with. I hope to teach them to open up their minds to infinite possibilities and to inspire them to be creative. I want to instill in young children a righteous foundation so that they will not be easily influenced or peer pressured in their upper years. It is not always easy to teach, but when you see a child persevere and change, the fulfillment that you have made a difference in their life is far greater than the challenge that you will put on. I want to share my knowledge and provide them with a listening ear when they need someone. Most of all, I believe I can learn from them as much as they can learn from me. In marketing, it is important to analyze, understand, and evaluate consumer behavior in order to tailor creative marketing campaigns to the consumers. These are transferable skills I will be able to use to analyze and understand my students' behavior to provide a more efficient way of teaching and a more effective way. My creativity will also aid in providing more enjoyable ways for students to learn. Through love and compassion, you want to do something that not only benefits yourself. When the benefit is greater than you gain a strong motivation to succeed. You find that everything you do, every action you take, and the way you communicate, you do it in the service of the community and for the people. You find that your will to succeed comes from love, and love for the children you teach and want to make a difference to. This type of willpower is not something that will easily disappear. It makes a very strong imprint in your life. And that is why I knew that I would succeed in teaching. And in a way, that is why I know that whatever I do from now on for these kids, I will also succeed in. So what's next for me? Oh my gosh, I'm really sorry. I can't believe I'm doing this in front of Facebook Live. Okay, so what's next for me? Well, my vision for Little Ivy League is to create leaders of tomorrow, to help them live a peaceful life, to help them inspire others, to help them become these people who are going to be able to tackle problems we are facing in society. And I don't expect them to need to be the president to do this. They need to be just people who are willing and able to show up and stand up, and that is what a leader is. I guess what I'm doing right now is I'm currently writing out a curriculum, and it's really based on what is lacking at school, and it's all based on character building and value education and growth mindset. And the things that I believe children need, these life skills that children need to actually become these leaders, and these qualities that they need. Now, these are all educational strategies, and behind me are all these ideas, and they're ideas of how I can, implement implement my vision, and it goes from teaching children in small groups to build to holding parenting workshops, to teach these educational tools, to building a school one day. So there's a whole variety, and I'm just trying to get my head around which one I should be doing first. But this curriculum really is about your children, and it's really about getting them ready for adulthood and getting them ready to be compassionate, active citizens in this world who are going to benefit more people in the future. Just like how my application, my admissions essay says, and that has always been a vision of mine. The educational strategies that I have tried and tested for the last 10 years, with over 500 children in my classrooms, and they've worked, and maybe not all for all children, but they do work. I think it's important for me to reach out to parents, particularly because I think that parents, just like myself, are children's first teachers, and I think if I want to reach as many kids as possible, and if I want this vision to be not just exclusive to the people around me and to the children in my classroom, then I have to reach parents. And I would love to help parents and be alongside parents to actually, give them these tools and these strategies to go, this is how I can build my children's compassion. This is how, I can become, help my kids to become more resilient. Or this is how, we can all become active citizens. So yeah, and so that's what's next for me. I'm really, really excited for, what's coming up. I'm still really passionate about wanting to create leaders of tomorrow, and, create a world where we have these inspiring people who want to do more for society and want to change society for the better, and if I can do this, and if I can, even just impact, one or two parents and one or two kids, then my life today has been so meaningful and is to continue to be so meaningful. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. I have so many people to thank. Thank you so much for those people who have been listening to my Facebook Lives. Thank you so much for those people who have been encouraging me for the last 30 days. Particularly thank you to Pete, who has always been there, who is, my pillar of strength. and who has just always believed in me. And yeah, and thank you so much for my mom for inspiring some of these posts that I've been posting. You know, some of the learnings that I shared with everyone is because my mom taught them to me. And yeah, and thank you so much for those people who privately messaged me to, you know, to encourage me, to let me know that my content has been valuable to them. So yeah, and I'm not sure whether I'll do any more Facebook Lives, but I definitely know that I will be, you know, recording myself now and then, because I actually feel like you know, recording myself and being like, you know, talking to the camera has actually been more helpful and more like time efficient for myself to get my content and my thoughts out, to, you know, rather than writing a blog or rather than just like, you know, jotting things down. So yeah, well, anyway, I hope everybody has enjoyed my 30 days. Please comment below, please let me know what you've enjoyed in the last 30 days, what you haven't, what I can improve on. And yeah, good luck with everything. See you later. Bye.